I think that reconnect in withdrawing the ordinance and killing the bill, that
honesty
has been established.
Honesty is what we seek. Well said, Manisha. Joining this panel right now, it's a mega panel now. Hartosh, political editor of Open Magazine, Sankarshan Thakur of The Telegraph. Ajay Bose and Aarti Jairath, senior journalists and authors respectively. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. As I open up the phone lines, the next caller is from Chennai. Sampath is calling in. Mr. Sampath, good evening. Thank you for calling. You know, this whole credit-taking business, many find it appalling. What do you think?
Yeah, this is regarding the so-called opposition of Rahul Gandhi to the ordinance. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Sampath.
Yeah, see, if you see the sequence of events, Rahul Gandhi never opposed the ordinance or the bill till it went to the president. Once he came to know the president is never going to sign that ordinance, the Congress party knew it is going to get discredited totally and got panicky. And therefore, unmindful of that, the Prime Minister was in USA and was meeting Obama and Nawaz Sharif and should not be disgraced at that time. They simply pushed Rahul Gandhi immediately to the Press Club of India and asked him to pretend that he was going to oppose that ordinance. Here also, instead of being graceful, he just clumsily blurted out and insulted the entire cabinet by calling it utter nonsense, complete nonsense. Oh, what I would like to know is that credit should not be given where it is not due. Can you
Mr. Sampath, can I get the Congress spokesperson to directly respond to you?
I know. Yes, Mr. Ranjit Singh Surjewala, I have been
Yeah, let him respond to you, sir.
I am not convinced earlier also, but let him try to convince me now.
Okay, I give him 30 seconds to convince the viewer from Chennai. Let's see if you can do that.
While I respect what Sampath ji is entitled to his own opinion, the truth remains that here was a young leader who rose above the politics of the whole bill and the issue and said, forget about sab chalta hai in sab party, and let us join our heads and let us cleanse politics, and the decision by my government is wrong. Prime Minister took notice of the same and he discussed the same with not only Mr. Rahul Gandhi, but the issue was deliberated in the entire cabinet, and on Gandhi Jayanti today, Prime Minister has taken a correct decision.
Sir, please, you are actually trying to. Why, Mr. Sampath? I don't know whether you are convinced or not.
Because Mr. Rahul Gandhi has never spoken decisively against anything so far.
Okay, Mr. Sampath is not convinced.
Yeah.
Mr. Sampath, you're not convinced. I thank you for calling. You've been unable to convince the viewer. That's all right. You win some, you lose some. You've been unable to convince our viewer from Chennai, Randeep Surjewala. Wing Commander Ahluwalia is going to be the next caller. But before that, Hartosh, the Congress spokesperson almost tries to make it look today as if this was a culmination of events and they wanted to make this historic announcement on Gandhi Jayanti. Now, I think if it was planned, it's a very clumsy sequence of events. But your response to Randeep Surjewala?
Arnab, I mean, there's very little to say. I don't think anybody other than a Congress spokesperson today is convinced by what a Congress spokesperson is saying. We already know what happens to Congress spokesperson. 5 minutes later, I think Mr. Randeep Surjewala, if he gets a call from somebody in the Congress High Command, will change his viewpoints. So really, let's forget all this jargon that is given out to us by Congress spokespeople, and let's understand simply that, yes, there was public pressure, and this public pressure also does not act on the government at all times. We have elections approaching. They feel that this will have electoral consequences. That is why they acted. In fact, what we need to debate is the possibility of bringing the voice of the people into the legislative process of drafting and framing bills, for which we do not have a set procedure today. When the people of this country are opposed to legislation, there is very little they can do for much of the 4 years or 5 years in which a government exists. It's only because today we are nearing elections that we've been able to achieve this result.
You are okay. You agree with that? Aarti and Ajay, can I put that question to you? If this was happening 2 years to the general elections, do you think the government would have brazened it out?
So who's going first? Ladies first. Definitely. I mean, Arnab, I can think of innumerable occasions. For instance, look at the Lokpal bill. There has been so much public pressure. There was a whole movement, and Delhi itself was paralyzed for so many weeks. But there's no signs of the Lokpal bill actually being, passed in Parliament. Women's reservation, that's another one. Nirmala Sitharaman just reminded me. So, people's power works really on the eve of elections. I completely agree with Hartosh. Otherwise governments they just tend to brazen things out when it suits them.
Ajay.
Well, Arnab, the point which I would like to make is that you will find many explanations by various political parties. But the fact of the matter is that what has happened in this past few days is a game changer in Indian politics, because you had actually the political class retreating helter-skelter, withdrawing not only the ordinance but the bill. Of course, public pressure was behind it. The president played his role. But I think that what has happened, should not be minimized. The fact that leaders like Lalu Yadav, Jagannath Mishra, Rashid Masood have gone to jail, will not be allowed to participate in legislative bodies, is something which is huge. And I think the people will take confidence and they will press further. They will push back further. And the political class has to take into account and cannot always say that we've been elected by the people's court and therefore we cannot, we need not respect anybody else. Once you're elected doesn't mean you've got a carte blanche to do anything you like. So I think this
so
is
where do we take this
for more public accountability.
So if that is the case, then if they are responding to public opinion, the broader question is, and it goes to Sankarshan before I go into the first break, that question is to Sankarshan. You see, frankly, the political class responds behind closed doors when you ask them. They say, do you know the way Indian politics is done? It's always been done like this. It's always going to be done in this way. So don't keep on shouting about political parties being brought under the Right to Information Act. We are not going to come within the RTI. And if required, we'll group together, we'll break across political boundaries, we'll make a powerful group and we'll do exactly things the way we want. Much like some sports bodies have run in this country. So Sankarshan, is that going to change? Or is this a one-off?
Well, I think what Ajay Bose was saying, I think the signal is very strong, but I am still skeptical about how corrective this can be. I'll give you an example.
Why?
The voices I'll tell you, the voices that I've been hearing from Saran district of Bihar, which is the home district of Mr. Lalu Yadav, Chhapra, Siwan, Gopalganj, is that his constituency is rallying ever more strongly behind him. So you will get one, Arnab, listen to me, that is also in India. And they are Indian people who vote in elections.
They don't vote on these issues. It depends upon the media and the people of this country what issues they make.
Precisely the issue, Arnab. Precisely why we need to discuss this in that fashion.
Exactly.
5 callers that you get from Metro India on your program are
I'm sorry.
Their voices.
I'm sorry, Sankarshan, but if you think only Metro India thinks about this, and if you think that rural India wants convicted politicians to be elected, you're wrong.
I am not saying. I am not. Listen, don't twist what I'm trying to say. Don't twist what I'm trying to say.
No, Manisha is rebutting you, Sankarshan.
Shahabuddin.
No.
Saran, okay, let me speak from Saran. Saran fears Shahabuddin in jail. Operates.
Of course it fears Shahabuddin. Don't you know?
Yes,
do you think I don't know what Saran fears?
Saran fears Prabhunath Singh.
Saran fears Shahabuddin. But if you are trying to tell me that Lalu Yadav has suddenly become an unpopular leader in Bihar, it is wrong. Are you trying to tell me that Saran fears Shahabuddin? I know enough about how much fear Shahabuddin
feels in Saran. I'm telling you why Saran behaves the way it does.
But if you are trying to tell me,
Manisha, I think we're digressing from the topic. The point is not whether Lalu Yadav is still popular or not.
Well, it's not a popular...
Or now we're digressing.
Saran fears Saran
This has
fears
nothing to do with
the rule of law does not
leader's
exist.
popularity. We're talking about...
Okay, we're going to take this debate forward. We're going to take this debate forward. One second.
And stand convicted.
1 second.
Go into the break. Just one line before you go into the break, Arnav, both the senior friends,
the tail of my argument and run away with it. I was trying to make a point, and five people jump at me.
One thing it establishes that it is Shri Rahul Gandhi who set course to a new political debate in this country. And that is a fact neither Hartosh nor anybody else can deny.
Well, because you've said that, I allow a quick rebut to Nirmala
it is a
Sitharaman.
manifestation and result of that.
Nobody can deny in the Congress.
Well, I don't think. I think
The power of the dynasty, can you deny it in the Congress?
but at the same time, the power of your allies has to be put in place. They have to be told that, listen, you may be allies, we may be dependent upon you, but we are not going to give you any leeway on issues of morality. Now, I'm going to take a break. Many of our panelists stay on. To the political panelists only, I'm saying thank you, and I'm back on the other side because one question goes unanswered so far. What happens to the Prime Minister after this? I'm back in a few minutes on the Newshour Debate tonight.